Hey folks, now this is the second part of what I covered last week. Now last week I talked about the top 10 most common dreams and I covered the bottom 5. This week I'm going to cover the top 5. So if you missed last week's video, check out the link in the description box below, and I'm sure as a lot of people told me, you could definitely relate to a couple of those. A couple of them probably got your name on it. So today I'm going to cover the top 5. But before I do that, last night, to be honest, I had the worst nightmare. Didn't scare me at all. So, number 6, flying dreams. Alright, you've probably all had one of these. Flying dream, you're floating along, and everything seems to be going fine. Maybe you're the one doing the actual flying. Actually, I was on a plane the other day, and it was a flying dream that I was having. And I said to the flight attendant, listen, there's this really annoying woman sitting next to me who just won't shut up. Can I change my seat? Apparently you can't do that when it's your girlfriend. If you're having a flying dream, enjoy that. Because you know what it means? It means things are going quite well. You're a little bit feeling in control of things. And so things are just sort of cruising along. In fact, I had a dream about a flying car, and it was full of incontinent, ugly people who were having an orgy with each other because they felt sorry for each other. Yeah, it was a shitty-pitty gangbang. If you're having a flying dream, this is actually one of those good dreams that you can sit back and enjoy because everything's going fine. It's a good dream, good for you. Number 7, the dream where you're running, but you can't run. You know, you've all had one of those, like you just seem to be stuck in slow motion, you're not going anywhere. In fact, I've always thought to myself something. People who run at 6 a.m, do they know about not running at 6 a.m? This dream is actually one of the most common dreams, and a lot of people have had this one. You're just stuck in place, you're not getting anywhere. It signifies a lack of self-esteem and a lack of confidence, and it probably means that you're in a situation where you feel powerless and you can't get out of that situation. My advice would be for a lot of women in this situation is to run at night. Apparently a lot of women run at night better than men. Well, the fear of being murdered will do that to your cardio. This is what I'm thinking. Dreams about not running. The average Western person is massively overweight. So I think a dream about not running is probably quite a common thing. But anyway, it means you need to examine what's happening and to get out. Milton White, giving you top advice. Dream number 8. Dreaming of your death or other people dying. Now, when I eventually choked to death on gummy bears, what I hope is that people just say he was killed by bears and just leave it at that. This is once again one of those very common situations where if you're dreaming of your death or someone else's, what you're basically dreaming about is that there's a transition happening in your life. There's a change happening, and maybe you feel that you haven't quite addressed it. Maybe you feel that there's a certain skill that you're lacking in a certain particular area, and that's why things aren't sort of going well for you. I mean, personally, I hope that when I die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming like all the passengers in his car. So one thing to take into account though is that when people die, it's common to offer condolences. It's common to say, I'm sorry and I apologize. But just remember, I'm sorry and I apologize do mean the same thing, except for when you're at a funeral. Take that into account. Now, for the last 2 dreams, my face has become really dark and it's actually getting quite overcast. So we might take this one indoors actually. Did I just say my face has become really dark? Seriously? And we're back in our indoor studio before the elements outside take over. Now, that gets us to our last 2 dreams. Dream number 9. You can't find a toilet. If you're dreaming that you need to pee and to poo, and you can't find a toilet, basically, you have nothing to go on. And at this point, embarrassment, shame and guilt often prop up. Because you may find yourself peeing somewhere that you wouldn't normally go. Peeing, farting, pooing, these are all normal human things. Every single one of us does it. But for some reason, society conditions us to feel as though these are gross and disgusting and there's something you need to hide from others. Something, for example, your dog doesn't worry about. But if you're human, there are 2 reasons you shouldn't drink from a toilet. Number 1, but more importantly, number 2. Now, the dream may be telling you that you actually need to use the toilet, or that you're having trouble expressing your honest, true thoughts and feelings to others. Deep, I know, but understand that the context of the bowel movement that you're struggling with in the dream is a metaphor for the internal shit that you're struggling with in real life. So the bottom line is, deal with your shit. Now, Needing to find a toilet in real life or needing to find it in a dream actually feel very, very similar. But here's a very, very good piece of advice. If you find a toilet in your dream, don't use it, because you don't want to wake up to that feeling of ew. The last dream is one that men have on a 6-to-1 ratio compared to women. And if you had one of these on the SS Titanic in 1912, it didn't quite have the happy ending that you might have wanted. Yes, of course, I'm talking about for number 10, the wet dream. Now, actually, a friend of mine wanted to be a porn star, and he did it solid for 3 months. And then he decided, you know what, this really isn't for me. But the problem is for him these days is that every time he's pumping petrol into his car, halfway through he pulls out the hose and starts spraying everywhere. But I digress. Most of us have woken up having in our dream had a passionate physical encounter with a complete stranger. And some of us might have woken up confused. Others of us might have woken up and gone, damn, I didn't get to finish. But either way, if you're having dreams with complete strangers, with your ex, with a work colleague, with a client, these are fairly normal. But let me explain to you what's going on. For example, if you're having sex with your ex in your dream, what it means is that you are stuck, in an emotional rut, and you're having trouble forming a new relationship and moving on. So you need to examine that, you need to figure out how to move on. But if you're having sex with anyone else, like I said, it could be your neighbor, it could be a work colleague, it could be a friend. All that indicates is you're suffering from a little bit of emotional inhibition. All right, you need to dump some emotional baggage. You need to get your freak on. You need to just let go. Unless you're having sex with multiple partners. Now, if you're having sex with multiple partners, good luck to you. But what that means is you might be suffering from some sort of emotional detachment. So you definitely need to look into that. And if you're having gay sex and you're heterosexual, not that there's anything wrong with that, doesn't actually mean that you're turning gay, but it does mean, like the other ones, that you're suffering from a little bit of inhibition, a little bit of lack of self-love. So what it means is you need to love yourself more. So do love yourself more. Just don't forget to turn the webcam off while you're doing that. Actually, I had an amazing dream involving Katy Perry, Margot Robbie, Megan Fox, and Adriana Lima. Yeah, I beat them all at chess. Hey folks, Milton White here from the WTF show. We want to get to 10,000 subscribers, so what I want you to do, I want you to hit that notification bell, because I want you to be one of those people who goes, 10,000 subscribers. I knew them before they got to 10,000 subscribers. I knew the WTF show before they were cool. Alright, you could be one of those people. We're dropping videos every single week, Mick Moore, Jay Newts and myself, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot more of you, because you're a beautiful person. Why wouldn't we want to see you? By the way, do not believe everything you read in a public toilet. Sharon is not up for a good time, and boy, that was an awkward conversation.